I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to check out the ultimate beginner drone. This is the Syma X25W. Skywatch.Ai insurance is on demand, and anytime you need it, check out the link below. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the field. Justin Davis here, and we're going to get excited because we're going to fly the Syma X25W. This is a beginner drone. No mistake about it. This is something that you want to start off with. If you're new to flying quadcopters, this little guy has all the bells and whistles for a toy drone, around $80. It has over a 13-minute flight time, real-time FPV view, and you can record your videos down to the SD card on the quad. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later and why that's so important for your first toy quadcopter. And toy quads are all about relaxation, enjoying yourself, and just having a good time with the quad and learning how to fly a multi-rotor before you move up to the next level, something like a DJI Mavic 2 or something like the DJI Phantom 4. You want to start out with something like this, and I'm going to show you the real-time view here on the bottom left of the screen. And I'm watching the real-time view, and there's not a lot of lag in this phone, which is amazing because you have to know that a lot of Wi-Fi drones do have a lot of lag in the video transmission back to the phone. And if you're a new pilot, that's not helping you out at all because you really can't see where you're going when the video is stuttering all the time, especially if you're close in proximity to a lot of trees and stuff. You're just going to end up crashing the quad into a tree. You're going to crash first and then you're going to see it second, which is a really common problem with a lot of video lag. But this Syma X25 doesn't have a whole lot of lag in it. The video transmission looks good, and the quadcopter itself actually looks like one of the cooler sort of little toy drones that I've seen come in my shop this year. I saw this one on the GearBest site, and I had to have it for you guys and bring it out to the field on a really nice day and do some filming. Now, this is a 720p camera, and the coolest thing about this camera is you can actually take this camera on and off. It's a little sort of turnbuckle underneath, and you twist it to the right or left, and you can pull that camera off the bottom. So if you're brand new to this and you don't want to tear up your camera on the first day, you can fly it without the camera. Just fly it line of sight. You can still arm it by pushing the sticks down and center. And a big point about this quad, if you get this quad and you're watching this video because you bought one, you can't figure out how to arm it, the easiest way to arm this quad is turn on the quad first, and then you're going to turn on the transmitter. Wait a second, you'll hear it beep. Take your left stick, your throttle stick, push it up, you'll hear it beep. Push it all the way down, you'll hear it beep, back to center, and then you're going to be ready to arm it. So you can do the auto takeoff from the transmitter itself, or you can push sticks down and center, both the sticks at the same time, and then you can push the throttle and come up. Now, what I really like about this quad too is the fact that this thing flies so amazing, so super butter smooth. Right here it has altitude hold, so all I'm doing is holding the left stick in the center right here, pressing forward on the right stick, and it just goes in a straight line. So very predictable, and actually a really quiet quad to fly. I love how quiet this quad is. There's a big difference between brushless motor quads, and if you've never flown a quad before, brush motors are the cheaper, sort of quieter, sometimes quieter, less powerful motors. And as a new guy, start out with brushed motors and then work your way up to something like brushless, because brushless motors are extremely powerful and it makes the quad a lot faster. So a lot of people end up in trees because they fly and they don't have any type of GPS on the quad. So they end up kind of, what happens is you slide and you go with the wind and you end up into a tree because you're not thinking about that next turn. Like right here, I'm kind of cruising by the trees over here in the baseball field. And this is the perfect place to fly this quad because a lot of people are actually flying the Syma quads in like little baseball fields, and this is really about the biggest range that you're going to get with this quad. You're not going to be able to fly this thing 2 football fields away, over 300 meters away. You're going to have to keep it in like close proximity, but that's what this quad's all about. It's a trainer quad. So for the people that are just getting into flying drones, this is an easy investment to get into it, and you'll actually have a lot of fun with this quad. Since it is a little bit bigger than something like the smaller indoor toy drones, this one handles a little more wind. Not a whole lot. My wind suggestion, probably my limit on this quad would probably be like at the most like 12-mile-an-hour wind. Anything over 12 to over 15 miles an hour, you might start getting in some trouble with this one. But let's make this review honest too, and let's talk about the way the camera looks. I think the camera is pretty decent. I'm going to go full screen here, and we're going to talk about this video. Now, the biggest thing about this quad is that it does record to the SD card. So since we can do that, it's not pushing the video back to the phone. Some of the really cheaper quads push the video back to the phone over the airwaves, and they skip a lot of frames. So as you can see right here, there's no lag or missing frames in this video. There is a little bit of sort of lateral jello, like horizontal jello that I see, and there's a little bit of pixelization. Obviously on 720p you're going to get that sort of pixelization. This is not going to be like a cinema quality drone. This is just purely for fun, and this would make a great gift for a kid for a birthday or Christmas or something like that. A quadcopter that someone can fly and not have a lot of trouble with. It's also really lightweight, and that means if you crash it, not a lot of damage is going to happen to this quad. You might not even break a propeller because it's so super light. And it's only running like a 2S 1000 milliamp battery that fits in the palm of your hand, charges up in about 2 hours. But this video is pretty decent. It's almost comparable to some of the GPS style quads that Hubsan makes. Right there, I'm ascending, I'm coming up, and we're talking about this camera. Notice that the darks over by the trees where the shadows are, there's not a lot of definition in the shadows, and sometimes that's what I look for in a good camera on a quadcopter, is that it does see the differences between lights and darks, and it doesn't sort of make the darks all black. The black point on this camera is really, really dark. So something to consider. On your darker days, like an overcast day, today is perfect day to fly. There's a little bit of sun glare right there, so when you're pointing right into the sun, you're going to get that sort of lens flare. It's going to white out the screen more. And then when you're pointing away from the sun, it's going to look a little bit better. But those overcast days, this camera is probably not going to be the best. The best day to fly this one and make your videos is going to be on a day exactly like what I have here today. Just a really nice sunny day. Now, another cool feature that I love about this drone is the fact that you can change the camera angle, and on the top left there's a button in the very back and the one in the very front. That one changes your camera angle, so you can point it straight ahead or you can go 90 degrees toward the ground. You can go straight down at the ground and shoot that sort of satellite shot. That's kind of fun too, because you can record yourself. You want to be careful when you're flying it over your head, obviously, but you could make some really neat shots if you wanted to go up and take a photo down at the ground at something in particular, like some type of object or some type of sort of statue or monument or something like that. But really neat option that this toy has, that this toy drone has, that a lot of them don't have, is a changeable camera. And I'm just gonna walk under the drone here and try to get it right on top of myself there so I can wave at you guys what's going on. Now I'm just gonna flip it back up, try to get it back up. You can see it looks like the video skipping right there, but that's actually me just pressing that button and making the camera come back up to level. So you can have it just about 20 degrees off level if you want it to be looking down and just sort of an angle as you're flying along. If you're really high up, you can do it that way, or you can have it pointing like straight ahead, completely true. And right here I'm pointing back at the ground again. It's really, there's my landing pad, and there I am again. But it's really neat to be able to change the camera angle on a toy drone, because I'm really not used to that, and this is kind of a nice option for this like $80 drone. And Syma really does bring extra quality to their drones. That's why they're so popular around the world. Syma has a very predictable quad. Look at this. The accelerometer and the onboard 6-axis gyro in here is really holding its position. Position hold is really good. And there is no GPS on here, so it's actually optical flow. There's an optical flow sensor on the bottom of it that will shoot out an infrared beam, and it sort of tries to hold its position when you get lower to the ground. Now, if this quad comes off the ground, you guys see it start drifting like on an angle. You can also you can calibrate the accelerometer and the gyro on board. So look in the manual and make sure you calibrate the gyro before you take off. Very important to do that. But once you do that, you're going to get a really nice, stable, smooth flying quadcopter. And the neatest thing about this also is that it does have different speed modes. If you guys want to make sort of more cinematic style shots and experiment with that and do some really nice straight ahead flying of a really nice environment, like above the trees here, it looks beautiful. There's a giant river over to my right. If you fly in a straight line in low mode, the low speed mode, it comes defaulted in that mode. You make some really nice videos doing that. And then if you press the right stick, if you press it down, that's going to put you in high speed mode, and that's really going to change the angle of attack for the drone and actually let you fly a lot faster. And you know, and upwards of 15 miles an hour with this drone. It's pretty quick, 15 to 20 miles an hour maybe. Maybe reaching 20 miles an hour. But look how cool the finish is on this quadcopter too. It has an LED on the very top around the Syma logo too. That was kind of a nice touch, and they didn't have to do that on this particular quad. It was probably more money to do that, more manufacturing time, but it does look really, really cool. LEDs in the front and rear, quick removable landing gear. You don't have to use any type of tools to remove this landing gear. And man, look at how stable that is. Isn't that cool? And hopefully there's some mods on the thingiverse.com website. You guys can probably print out some longer landing gear. If you want to extend the landing gear on this for landing in the grass, keep your camera out of the grass, you could probably do that. If you have a 3D printer, you could print your own feet for it. Maybe, I think they could be like twice as long as they are, honestly. Like, they are pretty portable and they're easy to pull on and off. So if you were trying to just quickly take the props off, that's great, because you don't need any tools for the props, you don't need any tools for putting on the landing gear or even the camera. So this one didn't have a whole bunch of extra hardware that I had to assemble the drone myself. I just had to snap stuff into place, even the phone holder on the transmitter as well. I didn't need any tools to just put that on there. It just clips on the back of the transmitter, and it holds my iPhone 7 really nice. But what I love the most about this drone is the fact that it flies so awesome. So 5 out of 5 stars for this Syma X25. This is the Pro Wi-Fi version that I have, and this is the ultimate quadcopter trainer drone, beginner drone. One of the best flying toy drones that I've had my hands on this year so far in 2018. And this is what happens when your battery dies. It's going to do a low voltage protection, so it's going to actually come down and land before it totally destroys your battery. So Syma has programmed that into the quadcopter's firmware, which is really nice. And that's going to save your batteries, folks, because most of the new guys, you're going to do that. You're going to fly it as long as you can, and then sometimes some of the other toy drones actually just fall out of the air. And this one doesn't do that. It actually auto lands, so that's an awesome feature that they've added on it. So definitely 5 stars out of 5. I think the Wi-Fi transmission is way better than some of the other drones out there, the toy drones. And I love the fact that I don't have to use any tools to put this together. I can just charge up the battery a couple hours time, and I also have a dual charger in the box with this. So definitely a nice value for like $80, and definitely 2 thumbs up to Syma for the X25 Pro Wi-Fi edition. I love this drone, so I can definitely recommend it for anybody that's starting out. If you start here and then move up to a brushless drone later with GPS and all those bells and whistles on it, I think you're gonna have a good time. But definitely a nice drone. So thanks again for watching, you guys. I'm Justin Davis, and I love quadcopters and drones. Please do subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to bring you more awesome drones and quads coming up this year, and more giveaways as well. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.